Imagine waking up with more money than entire countries, owning companies that build electric cars, launch rockets into space, connect the human brain to computers, and still spend your mornings reading engineering reports before sunrise. This isn't the life of a movie character. This is Elon Musk, a man who has been called a genius, a visionary, a billionaire, and by some, the most controversial CEO on Earth. But here's the question. If you had over $300 billion, how would you live? Would you buy the biggest mansion in Beverly Hills? Spend every weekend on a mega yacht? Or disappear on private islands? Surprisingly, Elon Musk chose a very different path. The truth is, his lifestyle is far more complicated than luxury. Because while the world sees Lamborghinis, rockets, and billion-dollar deals, very few people understand what actually happens behind the scenes. Today, we're taking you inside the real life of Elon Musk. His homes, his private jet, his daily routine, his spending habits, his security, his family, and the mindset that turned an awkward kid from South Africa into one of the most powerful people alive. This is the lifestyle of Elon Musk. Long before the headlines, before Tesla, before SpaceX, before becoming the richest man in the world, Elon Musk was just a quiet boy growing up in Pretoria, South Africa. He wasn't the most athletic. He wasn't the most popular. In fact, he was often bullied at school. Books became his escape. Science fiction became his playground. By the age of 10, he had already taught himself computer programming. 12, he created and sold a video game called Blaster. It earned him only a few $100s. But the money wasn't important. The lesson was, he realized something that would define his entire life. Ideas could become assets, and technology could change the world. While other kids dreamed about becoming athletes or movie stars, Elon dreamed about humanity becoming a multiplanetary species. It sounded impossible, but impossible ideas would eventually become his specialty. When he moved to North America, he wasn't chasing luxury. He was chasing opportunity. He worked odd jobs, studied relentlessly, and eventually co-founded his first internet companies during the dot-com boom. Those early businesses didn't just make him rich. They gave him something far more valuable: confidence. Confidence that he could solve problems most people believed were impossible. And that mindset would soon lead him into industries where failure wasn't just expensive, could be catastrophic. By the early 2000s, Elon Musk had already done what millions of entrepreneurs only dream about. He had built successful internet companies, taken enormous risks, and positioned himself at the center of the tech revolution. Then came the moment that changed everything. PayPal was acquired by eBay. When the deal closed, Elon walked away with well over $100 million. For most people, that would have been the finish line. Luxury homes, exotic vacations, retirement before the age of 40. But for Elon, it was only the starting point. Instead of protecting his fortune, he bet almost all of it. Friends thought he was making the biggest mistake of his life. Financial experts called him reckless. But Elon wasn't interested in becoming rich. He wanted to build companies that could change civilization itself. That decision shocked almost everyone around him. He invested heavily in 3 industries that many investors avoided: electric vehicles, private space exploration, and renewable energy. At the time, most people believed all 3 would fail. Elon believed the opposite, and he was willing to risk everything to prove it. There was a period when Elon Musk wasn't just risking his companies, he was risking his entire fortune. Tesla was burning through cash. SpaceX had suffered multiple rocket failures. The global financial crisis made raising money even harder. Every launch failure cost millions. Every production delay pushed Tesla closer to bankruptcy. At one point, Elon later admitted he had to choose carefully which bills to pay first. He poured nearly all of his remaining personal money back into his companies. There were moments when both Tesla and SpaceX were only weeks away from running out of cash. Most billionaires diversify their wealth. Elon concentrated almost everything into businesses that many people believed would collapse. It was an extraordinary gamble. Then, everything changed. SpaceX successfully launched its Falcon 1 rocket into orbit. Soon after, NASA awarded the company a major commercial contract. Tesla also survived its darkest days and slowly began winning the confidence of customers and investors. The companies that critics had once mocked started transforming entire industries. Here's something that surprises many people. Unlike many billionaires, Elon Musk isn't known for collecting dozens of luxury cars or superyachts. In fact, much of his wealth exists on paper. It's tied to the value of the companies he owns. As those companies grow, his net worth rises. When they fall, billions of dollars can disappear in a single day. That means being one of the richest people on Earth doesn't necessarily mean having unlimited cash sitting in a bank account. His spending reflects that philosophy. Rather than spending billions on personal luxury, he often directs resources toward engineering, manufacturing, artificial intelligence, and space technology. His biggest investments aren't jewelry or designer fashion. They're factories, rocket engines, computer chips, and future technologies. For Elon, the ultimate status symbol isn't owning the biggest mansion. It's building something that could outlast him. And that's exactly what makes his lifestyle so different from almost every other billionaire. When people hear the name Elon Musk, they imagine endless mansions, private islands, and lavish estates. But the reality is far more unusual. For years, Elon owned several luxury homes in California, worth tens of millions of dollars combined. Then he made a decision that shocked the world. He announced that he wanted to own almost no house at all. Over time, he sold many of his high-value properties, saying he wanted fewer possessions and more focus on his mission. Today, his living arrangements are often described as practical rather than extravagant. Even though he can afford almost anything, he has repeatedly said that his long-term goal is to build the future, not collect luxury real estate. That doesn't mean he lives a simple life. It means he spends differently. One luxury Elon does rely on is private aviation. Running multiple global companies means traveling between factories, launch sites, government meetings, and international events, often on extremely tight schedules. His private jet saves valuable time and allows him to work while traveling. Inside the aircraft, you'll find a quiet workspace, communication systems, comfortable seating, and enough privacy to hold confidential business meetings. For Elon, the jet isn't just a symbol of wealth. It's a business tool. Every hour saved in the air can become another hour spent making decisions that affect companies worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Being one of the world's most recognizable business leaders comes with serious security concerns. Elon appears at public events, factory tours, product launches, and meetings around the world. Because of that, professional security teams help protect him during travel and public appearances. The details of those arrangements are intentionally kept private for safety reasons. What is publicly known is that protecting someone with Elon Musk's global profile requires careful planning and coordination. It's a part of billionaire life that most people never see. So what does a normal day look like? Despite his enormous wealth, Elon has often described his schedule as packed with meetings, engineering reviews, product discussions, and problem solving. His calendar is known for being tightly organized. Rather than spending his days relaxing, he often moves from one technical discussion to another, focusing on manufacturing, software, rockets, artificial intelligence, and long-term strategy. Many former colleagues have described him as someone who asks detailed questions and expects quick, well-reasoned answers. Whether it's reviewing a rocket engine, discussing an AI model, or improving an electric vehicle, Elon is known for staying deeply involved in the technical side of his businesses. For him, luxury isn't about having more free time. It's about having the opportunity to build ideas that could change the future. But while the public sees the billionaire CEO, there is another side to Elon Musk. A father, a public figure surrounded by constant controversy, and a man whose influence extends far beyond business. In the next chapter, we'll explore Elon Musk's family life, his relationships, his public image, and how he became one of the most influential people in the modern world. When most people think of Elon Musk, they picture rockets, electric cars, artificial intelligence, or billion-dollar business deals. But behind the headlines, there's another side of Elon. He's also a father. Despite managing multiple companies, Elon has often spoken about the importance of spending time with his children whenever possible. Over the years, he has shared photos and appeared at public events with some of his kids, showing a much more personal side than the intense CEO the world usually sees. Still, balancing family life with leading several global companies has never been easy. His personal relationships have frequently attracted media attention, making him one of the most talked about public figures in the world. Very few business leaders have the ability to move entire industries with a single announcement. Elon Musk is one of them. When he unveils a new Tesla product, the automotive industry pays attention. When SpaceX announces a rocket launch, the space industry watches. When he comments on artificial intelligence, governments, researchers, and technology companies often join the conversation. His influence stretches far beyond business. Millions of people follow his interviews, product launches, and online posts. Supporters see him as one of the greatest innovators of the modern era. Critics argue that his statements can sometimes create unnecessary controversy. But whether people agree with him or not, few can deny his global impact. Being one of the richest people on Earth doesn't eliminate pressure. In many ways, it increases it. Every major decision Elon makes is watched by investors, employees, customers, governments, and the media. A successful rocket launch can make headlines worldwide. Product delay can affect stock prices. A single interview can dominate global news for days. This constant attention is something very few people ever experience. Yet Elon continues to work on projects that carry enormous technical and financial risks. That's one reason why many people describe him as different from a traditional billionaire. He isn't just protecting wealth, he's constantly betting it on the future. Ask Elon Musk what success means, and the answer usually isn't about buying bigger houses or collecting expensive watches. His long-term vision has consistently focused on expanding technology and making humanity more resilient. From electric transportation, to reusable rockets, to satellite internet, to artificial intelligence. His companies are designed around ambitious goals that could shape the coming decades. Whether every goal succeeds remains to be seen. But there's no question that Elon has already changed industries that once seemed impossible to disrupt. So, after billions of dollars, global fame, and extraordinary success, what is the biggest lesson we can actually learn from Elon Musk's lifestyle? The answer may surprise you, because the most valuable thing Elon owns isn't his money, it's the way he thinks. In the final chapter, we'll bring everything together and explore the mindset that turned impossible dreams into reality, and why Elon Musk's story continues to inspire millions around the world. When people look at Elon Musk, they usually see one number, his net worth, hundreds of billions of dollars. But money alone doesn't explain his story, because throughout his career, Elon has repeatedly risked losing almost everything. Not because he had to, but because he believed the future was worth betting on. Most people spend their lives avoiding failure. Elon built his career by accepting that failure is often part of innovation. Rocket explosions, production delays, public criticism, financial uncertainty, none of those stopped him from moving forward. For him, every setback was information. Every failure was another step toward a better solution. People often assume the ultimate luxury is owning more. More houses, more cars, more yachts, more private islands. But Elon Musk's lifestyle tells a different story. His greatest luxury isn't what he owns. It's the freedom to work on ideas that could change the world. Instead of collecting trophies, he builds companies. Instead of chasing comfort, he chases impossible goals. Whether it's sending humans to Mars, expanding electric transportation, or accelerating artificial intelligence, his focus has rarely been on living an easy life. It's been on building a lasting legacy. You don't have to admire every decision Elon Musk makes, and you don't have to agree with every opinion he shares. But one fact is difficult to ignore. Very few individuals have reshaped as many industries in a single lifetime. From online payments, to electric vehicles, to commercial spaceflight, to satellite internet, his influence reaches billions of people across the globe. His journey reminds us that extraordinary success rarely comes from ordinary thinking. Behind the headlines, behind the fortune, and behind the fame is someone willing to attempt problems that many believed could never be solved. Maybe that's the real lesson from Elon Musk's lifestyle. It's not about becoming the richest person in the world. It's about thinking bigger than the world expects. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Elon Musk, make sure to subscribe for more documentaries about the world's most influential billionaires, visionary entrepreneurs, and extraordinary success stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.